The more things change, the more they stay the same. And the Walt Disney Company has gone ahead and hired a brand new DEI chief, or Chief Diversity Officer right here, Miss Tinisha Agramonte. This follows, of course, after previous Chief of Woke at Disney, Latondra Newton, bailed out the door back in June. So for anybody thinking that Disney was going to eliminate this department and change its course, well, we told you so. Renegade Online. Well, folks, welcome back. Another great day here at Valiant Renegade. It's good to see everybody out there once again. And if you are like one of the many folks watching this video, not yet subscribed to this channel, please take a moment and turn that little red subscribe button to gray. Hit that like button, hit that notification bell, share this sucker out on the social medias, and of course, please do leave a comment before you head out the door today. Join us every Sunday afternoon right here on Valiant Renegade at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show. Disney has a tremendously rich and ethnically diverse history, especially in the last several decades. Sure, Disney has created some of the most popular characters on Earth in the way of Ariel, the Little Mermaid, or Belle from Beauty and the Beast. Or how about the real classics like Cinderella? But even in that same vein, within that 10 to 15 year period, we got ethnically diverse princesses. People like Jasmine that were astonishingly popular from Aladdin. Or how about later on in the zeitgeist with Tiana in Princess and the Frog? My personal favorite Disney princess, well, because, hey, New Orleans, I'm jaded. What can I say? And don't forget others like Mulan and Pocahontas, and then even in more recent years with the digital animated side of things like Moana. But no, all of that aside, Tinisha Agramonte is going to follow in the footsteps of her predecessor, Latondra Newton, and make Disney more diverse, somehow. Diversity, equity, and inclusion departments are, frankly, a cancer on publicly traded firms, especially Fortune 500 company firms. And no, I didn't say diversity was a cancer. I said diversity, equity, and inclusion departments were a cancer on Fortune 500 companies, because there's a big difference. Like we talked about before, Disney was naturally diverse well before they had this department just in the last few years, an initiative, frankly, of, you guessed it, Bob Iger. But when Disney decided to start remaking in live action a lot of their very popular classic properties, did they instantly go into things like Pocahontas or Mulan? Did they instantly go into things like Tiana in Princess and the Frog? No. See, Disney is taking their biggest headline characters because hashtag, I guess, Disney too white, and they decided to take characters like Ariel from The Little Mermaid, and now even Snow White, and well, diversify them. Oh, wait, I forgot when they had a naturally ethnically diverse cast when they did the live-action remake of Aladdin, and they even cast Will Smith as the genie. Remember how everybody complained and that movie bombed and only made like $200 million? Oh, wait, no, huge success. Nobody cared. You see, these companies should all be very cognizant of who their core audiences are, but sometimes they listen to these Madison Avenue marketing firms that tell them, no, you know what? We can expand your audience by doing something radically different. And apparently, with absolutely no regard for what radically different is going to do to their current audience that pays their bills. Just ask Bud Light how that worked out when they brought in Dylan Mulvaney. But in terms of the diversity department at Disney, it goes well beyond that. And we've all seen images over the years from Reimagine Tomorrow, as well as videos talking about, well, just exactly what this department is doing. It's shaming white people that work at Disney. It's handing them out questionnaires that they can check off how much white guilt they have. That is what this department was built for, and it is a cancerous effect on human relations in terms of their employees at this company. It's one of the reasons why employee morale, as we've heard over the years, have been on a sharp decline at the Walt Disney Company. And Disney seems to be doing nothing at this point to course correct. They're going to plod forward. Now, some folks out there told us months ago that when Latondra Newton departed the Walt Disney Company and that department was then merged in under human resources, that was a telltale sign that Disney was going to be walking away from woke. Well, I was a little bit resistant to that idea. I said, I don't think that hand has been played yet. Let's see how this works out, because there's nothing in the ether suggesting that Disney is walking away from this mentality. And sure enough, here we are a few months later, and they've appointed a new chief woke czar in the way of Tinisha Agramonte. See, if Disney was really serious about getting away from the problematic nature of a diversity, equity, and inclusion department inside of a company, dictating a company's hiring practices, dictating how a company produces, say in this case, its entertainment products, or dictating how a company markets itself, looking at you again, Bud Light, then Disney would have taken the opportunity during this massive amount of corporate restructuring. We just covered in a video yesterday how Disney is going to completely revise how it financially reports its data moving forward. Go back and check that video out. Key things to understand before the November 8th earnings call that we'll be covering live, of course, right here. But Disney didn't take this opportunity to eliminate or tamp down on this department. Nope. They simply reshuffled a bit of the organization of how it fell under HR as opposed to being its own department, but then they still appointed a brand new chief of that department. And, well, let's learn about Miss Tinisha. The Walt Disney Company has named Tinisha Agramonte as its Senior Vice President and Chief Diversity Officer. Agramonte, who is already a Disney executive, will lead the company's diversity, equity, and inclusion strategy. The hiring comes after Latondra Newton, who previously held that position, departed the company in June after a 6-year run. Agramonte has been at Disney for a year, working as the Vice President of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, Talent, Outreach, and Development within Disney Parks, Experiences, and Products. In the new role, she will report to Sonia Coleman. Now, Sonia Coleman was previously running this department as part of HR, Senior Executive Vice President and Chief Human Resources Officer. Quote, among each of our teams and in every community where we live and work around the world, Disney is committed to building a more inclusive and respectful world. Gotta love how nice those platitudes sound, huh? They're so committed that the Walt Disney Company has brought in the largest LGBTQ political organization to Walt Disney World in Orlando for two major conferences and conventions this year and next year. Tinisha Agramonte is an integral member of our executive leadership and a dedicated, well-respected leader within Disney. As our new CDO, Agramonte's expansive knowledge and expertise, having worked in a variety of industries, will allow us to continue creating a welcoming environment for our employees globally. What is it with this idea that before diversity, equity, and inclusion departments at major Fortune 500 companies that somehow diversity never existed? Have these people ever actually been to Disney World? Have they been to Epcot? I remember going as a kid, going around the World Showcase, and each one of those countries was employing people that were natively, ethnically of that country's background. I mean, they're still doing that to this day. And like we said before, Disney has been making a wide diversity of programming with princesses and characters from many different ethnic backgrounds since I was a kid. But no, we now have to have dedicated departments that waste billions of dollars of stockpayer money and capital in the way of lost sales in many cases because, I don't know, reasons. She previously worked as the first Chief Diversity Officer at Motorola and worked in senior executive positions within the federal government. Of course she did. She was the CDO and director for the Office of Civil Rights in the Department of Commerce. Why does the U.S. Department of Commerce need a diversity division and a civil rights division? She was the Assistant Administrator for Diversity, Inclusion, and Civil Rights within the U.S. Small Business Administration and Director of Diversity and Inclusion Outreach and Retention with the Department of Veterans Affairs. Again, all of these departments are pretty cut and dry. Why does every single department out there, not only in the large private sector as well as the federal government, need chief diversity officers? This seems to be a problem. And that's especially when chief diversity officers' main goal seems to be anything but white. And listen to Miss Agramonte's quote, I'm honored to take on this role at a beloved brand which impacts people around the world. Throughout my career, I've had the privilege to help foster environments where all voices are heard, where individuals from all backgrounds have equitable access. Remember the word equity, not equal, but equity, as in not equal opportunity, but equitable opportunity, meaning that certain people that fit certain protected classes, as the popular terminology today seems to suggest, would get special privileges over white people. Equitable access and opportunities to thrive and where innovation flourishes because of our collective strengths. I'm proud to continue those efforts alongside our incredible leaders and employees here at Disney to optimally achieve our company's mission to entertain, inform, and inspire people around the globe through the power of unparalleled storytelling. No, you're the Walt Disney Company. You make general children's content. Your mission is not to inform or to indoctrinate or to pump a bunch of political nonsense down kids' throats. No, it's simply to entertain. This is one of the reasons why Disney has been struggling and failing so much in recent years, and I don't see anything getting any better anytime soon. Take Disney at their word. Take Miss Agramonte at her word. Disney is there to be leveraged to inform, and read indoctrinate into that. Disney will continue to use its brand and its power to instill whatever social and political messaging they want to into your kids' television programming. And of course, that's worked tremendously well to this point with movies like Strange World and Lightyear. People have grown very weary of Disney's politics. It's a game that they shouldn't have started to play to begin with. All they had to do was just do the simple thing, the thing that they should be doing for their stockholders, and that is to make entertainment that appeals to the broadest audience possible for the highest return on investment at the lowest cost possible. That just simply means if you're going to do a remake like The Little Mermaid, then you want to make The Little Mermaid look, sound, and feel exactly like the original one from back in 1989 and 1990. That means Ariel and the music all have to fit the original that was so incredibly popular that still to this day it continues to sell billions of dollars worth of merchandise over the course of time. This company seems to keep wanting to remake things for modern audiences, and for some crazy reason, these modern audiences, time and time again, never materialize. Get your head out of your ass, Disney. It's been up there long enough. Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.